Okay, this next photo is, I'm on the red carpet, and I had just gotten home from tour, and so people would send me free stuff. Like, I was like, what? Like, free stuff? And somebody sent me this product that was like this gel that you put in your hair and it turns your hair a color, and it was blue, and it was like a paste. And so I was like, okay, just really kind of inspired. I wanted my hair like cotton candy, like light pink, and just I had this vision of what I wanted, and I ended up with like fuchsia pink hair for like a year. So, you know, at that time too, like I didn't have any budgets, I didn't have a stylist. It was like literally on my own with all guys. It's kind of really starting to get influenced by, I'd gotten famous, I got to buy a house, I got to move out of my parents' house. Like so much had happened, and I think I wrote this record called Return to Saturn, which is really all about assessing your life. And so the pink hair and the braces really like, yeah, that's why, you know what I'm saying? And the braces were like me coming home and being like, you see this money I got? Boom, I'm getting braces, finally, haha. We did this show, it was like New Year's Eve show, and we did this song called End of the World as You Know It. The song has like 1,000 lyrics in it, and it was live TV. And I remember I was trying so hard to memorize the words and had the braces on for the first time, and I couldn't sing like literally my lips were getting caught in my braces. And I came off stage and went into some closet in some room and cried like for the rest of the night. It was New Year's, and looking back, I think about it, and I was like, everybody was kissing, and nobody was even watching me, so like, I don't even know why I did that, but yep. Oh my gosh, okay, so this is when I feel like a little more proud of myself. I feel like that's because I finally got to work with a stylist, and I met my, like, kind of what I wanted to look like in the Eve video, and I got on the phone with Andrea. I didn't really know who she was at all, and having Andrea as a stylist was a way to take like double the talent. So it was like my ideas, and I just remember saying this, I want to have like a, you know, like a visor, kind of like Chrissy from Three's Company, but then this, yeah, I had this whole thing. And when I got to the fitting for the Eve video, she had literally had a truck. Like I'd never seen so many clothes in my life. Like, and everything that, like every idea I had, she had taken it to a whole nother level. She had made custom pants. I'd never had anyone really make me custom pants that actually made me look skinny. I was like, what? She was definitely my soulmate when it comes to fashion, and she taught me so much because I wasn't schooled in fashion. I didn't grow up in New York. I didn't even know who Vivienne Westwood was. Like I didn't know she did punk. Like I didn't know any of that because I just wasn't exposed to it in Orange County. But definitely feel like working with Andrea and having a stylist to have access to stuff I didn't even know existed was just taking me to another level as far as being able to, yeah, express myself. Oh, okay, yeah, this is the cover of Vogue. This is my first Vogue cover. Never thought that would happen. Can't believe still that it did happen. And this was a while ago, so they would do a shoot for like a whole weekend, and you would do a 2-day fitting before the shoot, so it was like an event. And the way it made me feel was like, I was used to having so much control over my look and what I did, and really was quite anti-fashion magazine growing up, because I think as a kid I just felt like I was like alienated. It was like, you can't get that stuff. That's for rich people. Like that's for, you know, those things aren't real. Of course, I was just naive and I didn't know, but what I love about Vogue and what I love about being able to do the cover of Vogue and being able to collaborate with so many talented people along my journey is to learn about art, you know, art through fashion. And I think that this was that experience. I had always done my own makeup, my own hair, my own styling, so I felt like scared that everybody was like taking over and I had no choice. They were like, you're gonna do your makeup in front of the camera, and Steven's gonna watch, and Pat's gonna put the makeup on, and then you don't even get to see it. And I had just done the Aviator movie, and I think the makeup was kind of influenced by that, like the way that the eyebrows were. And I look at the photo, I'm like, I don't know, who is that? Like, I don't even think it looks like me at all. Interesting, they put me in the stripes, which is something that's been like a signature of mine, like along my journey, and still is. So It was an incredible experience, but when the weekend was over, I was like, oh, relieved. An Orange County girl didn't belong there. Like it was like, what am I doing here? But it was awesome. I love you, Vogue, so much. Okay, how about we talk?
These were the same style of sunglasses that were worn. I wanted it to shoot fire from my breasts, but we decided it was safer to shoot sparks. So essentially what would happen is I had a remote control in my hand that once I pressed it, it triggered this fire bra to go off. And what would happen was a piece of steel would rub against, was essentially like a flint, and it would spin very fast and the sparks would shoot off of me. And I used to joke and say, I need my jewelry. And then they would bring me my fire bra. This is when I was in England, and I was the only designers that I could think of that were actually tailoring latex in this way. It's very difficult to tailor latex. Well, this was a wonderful evening. This was my first ever Grammy. Everything would be tailored perfectly, and it would also be high fashion. So this piece fit me absolutely perfect. What's also very funny is that these shoes were stolen backstage after the show. I think we found them later on eBay somewhere, and we found out how to get them back. I just wanted to give a very specific shout out also to Fred. I had just won a Grammy before this happened. My first Grammy I won right before I wore this. Okay, well, here's me and Beyond. This video, we wanted there to be a balance between fashion and camp. So we wanted to do a play on the American flag and a play on capitalism. The inspiration for the Americana vibe was that the song Telephone was about being inundated with phone calls. I was playing around when I wrote that song with this idea that we were, as a society, becoming more and more obsessed with interacting with each other in a way that was less real. And that led me to this, the ingesting of capitalism in a way that's not healthy for us. So it's a commentary on American culture. Her and I worked together for a long time, and she shared a story with me where she had gone to a party wearing sausages. And I thought this was quite funny. And I said, well, that's a great way to make sure that everybody leaves you alone at a party. I was speaking with my artistic friends about if we wanted to make any statements while we were at the MTV Video Music Awards. And we did want to make a statement because at the time, they were trying to repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell. But we decided to do the meat dress because I thought to myself, if you are willing to die for your country, what does it matter how you identify? This was ultimately designed from his last collection that I wore, and we recreated the feathers. But I am wearing the armadillo heels from Plato's Atlantis, which was the crescendo before we unfortunately lost him. I've always been inspired. Okay, so this next piece, we would call this an outfit. Everybody calls it the egg, but it's actually a vessel that was designed. I was very particular about the way the fashion looked for this performance, in so much as the night before the performance, I said, the fashion's wrong, we don't have it. We need it to be latex. We need nude latex. And if you know anything about looking for latex, years ago it was very difficult to find latex in any other place other than a sex shop, or where we found this latex was a bus company had latex that they were using to cover the seats of their buses. And we found the latex and we asked if we could buy it from them. So everybody's fashion that's made here was made from the fabric of seats for a bus. I was in the egg for 3 days. To be honest, at award shows, especially during this time, I didn't like to talk to people. I always felt that it threw me off of my performance. So this is an alter ego that I made. And I wanted to be subversive, and this was my way of creating a different type of statement for myself. At this time, I was actually going through a representative of relationship, representative of my father as well. But everything about this was just meant to be kind of a Jersey boy greaser. I'm always fully in character when I've been Joe. It's a feeling, and I wanted him to be dirty, and I rehearsed a lot with the boys. And I have little lifts in my shoes to keep me a little bit taller because I'm short. Outfit. We had this idea of shooting me inside of what was essentially meant to be placenta fluid. We created this artistic goo, and the goo artist was, and I have this huge hat on that I believe is a Steve. Now this is as the actual ad for that horse is my purse. Okay, so this next look, I wore this in London. I believe I was heavily scrutinized album. So I often did my own takes on other in the Harajuku area. And then we used a technique in Harajuku makeup as a way to create anime eyes by creating the pupil on the eyelid. And often I'll do this with fashion depending on what it is.
Oh my gosh, okay. Ew. I could be here all day. I love talking about fashion. Hi Vogue, here I am, Gwen Stefani. I am here to look back on some of my style, some of my looks. As you know, I'm very passionate about fashion. This first one here is a picture of me in some kind of satin leopard pants and a tank top, because I pretty much only wore tank tops my whole life because I don't know why, I just think they look cool. I had to be a little bit tomboy with like a little bit glamour. So like from here down tomboy, from here up glamour. And that was just kind of the vibe for myself, like what I always followed. And this is from MTV, I wanna say awards, probably 1995. I was just so unbelievably fascinated by, and so she made this little skirt for me. The shoes were just literally somebody sent them to me. So, and same with the bathing suit top, the blue bathing suit top fur. Okay, you would wear it too if it was free and you got home off tour. So be quiet. Okay, number next. Ew. Okay, so this is me at another award show. So what happened with pink hair? It's so true. Like, if you go through like a breakup or a really big like change in your life, sometimes you go ahead and change your hair, like to try to like, I don't know, wash whatever those feelings are out of your. This time was this really super duper famous photographer, and I was super naive because I'd like heard the name, but I don't know about that world. So I'm just being really honest. Like I just didn't know. He had not been working for a while, and he's very eccentric, and he had kind of come out of hiding to like do this shoot. And I also got to work with, and this look is something that I begged for. Because you know, sometimes when you're working and stuff, like you gotta be creative within a budget. And so that gets frustrating, especially when you get really spoiled, like I am at this point. And I remember I really wanted this corset, and there's an amazing designers called.
Hello Vogue, this is Lady Gaga, and I'm here to go through all my life in looks. Kind of nervous about this. I believe this was 2008. I was backstage at MTV and I did TRL, Total Request Live. And this is a leotard and a hood made by, that hair on my head is a full wig that I had sewn to my head that I never took off ever. I wore probably one of 3 different outfits for about 5 years straight because that's what I could afford at the time, and I wanted people always to recognize me. So this was my initial iconic look. You can tell from the way that I'm standing there that I already felt like a star before anything came out. And I would say to anybody that's young and watching that, you know, if you believe in yourself, you don't need other people to tell you you're great to know that you're an artist on the inside already. I want to be very specific. The jewelry that I'm wearing on this is what we called, they're tried and true and they're worth it. Oh, I love this one. This is, I think he's potentially the greatest designer of all time. This dress in particular, it does actually represent a lot of what I love about him, which is that, you know, this is a Bosch print. And if you know anything about Bosch art, there's sort of this violence and these tiny little odd things that are happening that to many are grotesque and ugly and wrong. And somehow he found beauty in these things. And that was a piece of him. And he celebrated women and he celebrated all types of women. Working as one of my stylists at the time, he was vegan also and still helping to sew all of these last bits of meat to me and making my meat hat and my meat purse, which was held by Cher. It smelled like meat. It was thrilling to wear. There's a corset under this, but the corset was sewn to the meat. So this is actually a garment. They didn't just drape meat over me and cross their fingers. I wanted to arrive as this, Italian goddess that she had turned me into for the campaign. If we'd like to include my accessories, for example, my purse this evening was a mechanical horse. We decided to wear the horse as a way to get onto the red carpet, but we wanted it to be exciting, so we painted her white. But guess what the horse is made out of? I wanted to dress like a queen in a British fashion, and I also wanted to do it in my way. But we thought that we would give this look of a queen a modern twist by making it in latex. And at the time, it's this hair. He was the one who, for the first time, put this idea of creating this piss yellow hair color as a way of celebrating the outfits that are worn by the models and dancers that are around me. That was created by House. This, in a lot of ways, is really representative of my devotion to my craft and that I really wanted to be with myself. Okay. This is one of my favorite photo shoots that Nick and I ever did. And I am wearing high heels in it, I can see. This goo that you see on me, it started out sort of in one way, and then as I performed for Nick for several hours, the goo started to take many different forms. This is a garment, but this is a moving garment. I wanted to do something fun and exciting and whimsical, and I thought, why not come to actually created this character that was my boyfriend. I inhabited this character. It was during the promotion for my, but Ox to this day, they're about $2.99, and I'm wearing this jacket. It's really actually a sweatshirt from.
There it is, so beautiful. I look at it like I'm always gonna be the same person and I'm always gonna like the same things, but you can't help but be like, your eyes are opened as you travel and as you get to like collaborate with different people and see things through, whatever lens they're looking through. And even like up until now, like there's things that I never thought that I could do, or makeup I didn't think I would be able to wear. Like every single day is a new day. And yes, I think that my style is gonna always evolve, and style definitely reflects, your personality, your mood, and where you're at in your life. And it makes you happy.